Am I allowed to use the phrase single mom of 9? Well, hello friends, welcome back. Hey, look at me, I'm getting another video up on my second channel. You're getting ready this afternoon and we're gonna find my bangs, it's all the thing. And I am going to actually film a couple videos for this channel. I should be ready in the rest of them, but hey, multitasking, how do I get this done? Here we go. The other videos for this channel I'm filming will probably be in my car. And then for my main channel, I am filming big batch French toast. I'm going to do 12 loaves of great value bread for the freezer. One day soon it will consistently be my own homemade bread. But hey, the great value bread says it has no high fructose corn syrup. We got 12 loaves and that'll be probably 8 to 10 French toast breakfast for my household of 10 over the next 6 to 12 weeks. So somewhere I'm buying my future time back. So today's Get Ready With Me chat is a comment that I've gotten a couple times, and I just thought, let's discuss. Let's address this. Let's discuss it, because it bothers me in a sense that this particular comment is trying to take my voice, control my narrative. And as a woman who has worked hard to find my voice and to face reality and to accept what is and what is not my story, I definitely don't mind addressing this question at this time, and I feel emotionally able to do so. I feel like I'm in a safe, healthy place to do so. And I think as women, especially women who've been through some things and are hurting, we don't need anyone else to speak for us. And we definitely don't need folks who come at us questioning the language that we're comfortable using. And so although I don't always address comments and questions and things thrown up at me, this one is one that is very important to me. I've received it maybe 2 times this weekend, and it's just enough to get my little self-advocate a-flowing. And the statement goes like this: there are real single moms out there who've been single moms with no support, and they have worked longer and harder than you, and they have more kids than you, less kids than you, no support. They work full-time, they go to school full-time, they do all these things more than you do, Jamerrill. And you, Jamerrill, have not been a single mom as long as they, whoever they are. You have not been a single mom of 9 as long as them. You have less experience as them. And because of that, it is not right for you to call yourself a single mom of 9. Basically, how dare I call myself a single mom? I don't deserve the title. I shouldn't use the title. And somehow my struggle and my journey isn't valid enough where I can use that wording. And here's the thing for me. I have fought every day for 19 months for that title. And no woman earns that title without great reason. And I have fought and advocated every day for who I am and for how far I have come, and to save the girl who has my name, to have my own back and not throw myself under the bus, and to save my own one life. And it's dehumanizing to me to say that I haven't fought enough, I haven't earned it enough, I'm not strong enough, I'm not weak enough, basically telling me what terms I can or cannot say to describe my one life. And it took me a good 15 months or so to get to the place in my healing where I can look into the camera while I'm recording and say, I'm a single mom. You know, I shared aspects of my life as a large family mom of a large and growing family for over a decade online on my main channel and through my homeschooling blogs. And now the journey continues as a single mom of 9. I still have 8 of my 9 children who live at home full time. I have 6 minor children, and I'm doing the thing. Now, another thing that was thrown at me, and again, I understand that things being thrown at me, it's also been said that I ask for it because I've shown up online. And again, how I have showed up online until recent times is processing 380 pounds of tomatoes to make homemade pasta sauce for my large household of 11, being barefoot and pregnant in the kitchen, making homemade laundry soap. That was one of my first videos over a decade ago now, because that baby I was barefoot and pregnant with is now 10. And I understand that I have shared parts of my journey in a public sphere, and I've had parts of my story publicly released. And again, the answer is I asked for it because I've shown up online. But what's super interesting is that at almost 46 years old, I have been relentlessly bullied my entire life, childhood and adulthood. And so I share this experience for the other women who are hurting, who are enjoying my second channel. I've heard from many of you who are enjoying it over here, and I appreciate that, and I thank you for your support. And I've heard from women who have started therapy because of these videos on my new channel. They've reached out for helpful resources. They are finding their own voice, and they're also doing what they can to save the girl who has their name and having their own back. All words and phrases there I have learned from Natalie Huffman and her Flying Free podcast. But even though I don't know Natalie personally, I consider her one of my mentors, and I know that there's many women who look up to me from what I've heard, and they consider me and my journey as mentorship to them. So because of them, even though I am not emotionally to the place where I can stand up against every single online bully for my own one life and my own healing, I just 9.9 times out of 10 just do not even care or address it. But I know a lot of women who watch me and tell me that they are getting a lot over here, and to please not stop making these videos. A lot of those women are bullied too, and a lot of those women have words put in their mouth. They have people who try to change their narrative. They have people who literally try to throw them under the bus with their words and gaslight them and say lies loud enough. You know, if you scream a lie loud enough, does it become true? And that's sometimes what I think about online things. If they scream these lies loud enough, does that make them true? And so the bullying that goes on online is very much like bullying I've experienced in real life. And again, I have endured a lot of it. And that's why in 2018, super duper, another coincidence, another decision I had to make. So I have shared how I had a very successful 6-figure annual income popular blog that I created. And by 2017, I wanted to go all in on my part-time hobby of YouTube. And I wanted to sell that blog because I had a lot of sweat equity in it. And obviously I was selling for a huge profit, and I would have enough cushion to go all in and push my gas pedal that I was seeing on YouTube. I saw things in my YouTube analytics and also my self-taught woman entrepreneur brain, and I was thinking that if I had that popular blog sold, got my equity out of it, I would have enough cushion so that I could go all in on YouTube and create a whole other business, which I did, which I also teach other women how to do in my brand new course at largefamilytable.com/YouTube. It's my YouTuber Extraordinaire course. The link for it will be down in the description below. It'll also be pinned in the first comment, because teaching people how to start their own businesses and how to be successful on YouTube is a super passion of mine, and it is something I have done for over the past decade. So with that said, in 2018, around the time the sale for my blog was getting ready to go through, I found all this online trash about myself and my household, and sadly, I had had YouTube as a hobby for several years. I didn't know that stuff was there. I just didn't know. And by that point, my blog sale was getting ready to go through, and I had this plan, and of course I was horrified by what I saw. And when I was a successful blogger, folks didn't come for me. It was just the happy Christian homeschool moms, many of whom still follow me in my journey to this day. And so I thought that's all YouTube was. But I teach all about that in my course too, and how I've learned to handle it. So all that to say, I had a choice then to not sell my blog, to stay where I was, or to take the chance. And within all that, I had also decided to go all in on food, because before then I did homeschool content. I did all kinds of content, and I decided to just go all in on food because that was also had the most potential and was the most profitable for me. Again, I go through all of that, including my annual income, which I still use to pay the team of women that work for me, plus support my family and all of my country song life adventures I have going on. I made a choice to continue on with YouTube, knowing that the junk was there. And so some of the comments on my main channel, which again, hundreds of positive ones, hundreds of wonderful stories. I got a comment today from someone who started watching me somehow 13 years ago, like one of my first little videos, and now she's a mommy, and she says that she has followed me the whole time and she feels like she's part of the family. It was just a precious precious comment. So back to me addressing some of these things that are thrown at me. It was also said to me this weekend that because I have help, I'm not a real single mom. Because I have help in my business, because my mom lives with me, and because I have teenagers, I'm not really living the single mom life that makes me a real single mom. And so again, dehumanizing, devaluing all I have fought and worked and advocated for. And so again, I share this for the women who are being bullied by the people in your life who are telling you you're not enough, you haven't done enough, you're not really doing it, you're not really showing up, you're not really, insert the lie here. And so again, answering, like I said back to that one, I've had women and men hired to work for me in my business. Many times they have their own businesses and I help support other women-owned businesses and I pay for their services online. No one comes to my house to work for me, but even so, that would be okay. But yes, for about 12 years or so, I have hired other women and they work from their home and I work from my home, and I pay them for their services and their skills, and it's an exchange of time and money. That has nothing to do with me being a single mom. That is part of how I have grown my business as a smart entrepreneur woman. I cannot do everything. I cannot be everywhere. I cannot answer every customer service email or answer every question or do the graphic design in every product. But I have learned over time to hire out everything that doesn't have to have my face directly on it. And I learned that probably 12 years ago from my friend Crystal Payne from MoneySavingMom.com. Her big thing was hire help. And from there, I hired my first independent contractor. And again, I teach all about that over in YouTuber Extraordinaire. It's part of my Successful Business Mama Suite, largefamilytable.com/YouTube. I teach YouTube and so many entrepreneurial woman business aspects, family considerations, hire and help, handle and hate, all the things. And so I'm allowed to have help in my business. And that does not make me any less of a single mom. I do also myself work full-time. It is a blessing, since I've developed a successful online business, that I can do a great deal of my work on my phone. And then the other accusation in reference to my mom living with me. My mom has lived with me now for a little over 4 years. Even before my life blew up, she did not blow up my life. And even before she officially lived with me for 2 decades, traveled on vacations with me, and has been a wonderful, loving grandmother. She would pick up kids and take them to private ice skating lessons or private riding lessons. Things that 2 decades ago I could not do for my kids, she showed up and she did them. And that's a wonderful grandmother thing to do. And so since I have become a single mom, what my mom did to help me is those first 12 weeks where everything was fire and I had to scratch and claw and find that fragile framework of joy, which was one of my first videos where I shared about that over here on this channel. I naturally tapped into, I needed to walk and move my body to process. This is before I started trauma and grief therapy. It's just like my intuition said I have to move. And I think part of that was being able to have the personal agency and feel like I was in control of something. I could move my body. Now, crashing on the couch is also personally acceptable. This is just how my journey worked. And when I moved my body, because it was just, makes me want to cry, you know, it was so unreal. When I moved my body, walking 3 to 4 hours most days, that moved my body enough to where I could get my hot Epsom salt bath and soak and ball, and I could sleep. What if I would not have been able to sleep during those initial 12 weeks? I don't know that I would have made it. And so by having my mom here, I was able to leave my property for 3 to 4 hours a day to walk. Eventually, I got to the place where I could be on my own property and do my own walking, which I transitioned into running. And I've shared about that in many videos, and I'll share about it in many more. So yes, having my mom here was a blessing. And then what is said to me is not all single moms have that support, which is what was implied with this comment. I understand that. So what would I have done if my mom wasn't here? I would have had to have walked on my own property with my children around me. But it doesn't discount my experience. I was still burning, okay? My nervous system was still on fire. It doesn't make that experience and that journey any less valid for the fact that for 12 weeks I could leave for 3 to 4 hours a day. Now, what I know other women have done, like my friend Sarah McDougall, she has another resource and support site for women in crisis. I believe it's called wilderness2wild.com, and I think she has a podcast, and she's on everything. What she had to do is she had to put her children in public school for a season, and she had to work through her nervous system healing and her trauma and her healing her way. Now, if I heard correctly, again, this is her story, but somewhere I heard her share about how she was so exhausted, she put her kids in public school so she could sleep. And she slept and she slept and she slept. She was able to get up in the evening and get them dinner and get through the evening, go to bed, get them to school the next day, and do it all again. And so my whole point with that, if you are a woman who is struggling and you're trying to figure out how to get space to work on your nervous system healing, is there are many creative, unique ways to go about it. And many times that looks like, as women, because we're not where we want to be and we're vulnerable and we have to save our own one life and the girl who has our name and not throw ourselves under the bus, we have to make choices that we would not otherwise have wanted to make. And for me, that was leaving my property for 3 to 4 hours a day to get heavy walking in most days. But by doing that, I was saving my children's mother. And yes, no crime, my mom was here in order to support me so I could leave for those 3 to 4 hours. And so I also will not take on shame that I have had a mom who was here so I could do that. And that is just part of my story. Like it or lump it. It just is what it is. And then the other comment about me having teenagers. I have had teenagers in my home for over 12 years now. Teenagers have been helpful. Even before I was a single mom, they have always helped. And so there's nothing wrong in being a single mom that also has teenagers that help. And there are single moms that have teenagers that can be helpful, and there's single moms that don't. One woman's journey and how one woman has fought and overcome does not discredit another woman's journey. And so I address this question because, again, for the last 4 months or so, I have faced reality in the eye, and as part of my healing, I've been able to publicly say, even though y'all knew it before, and that's okay. That's okay. I got to get to the place where I can say the words out of my mouth and even hear myself say them and process it and be at the place where I have processed it and I have acceptance of that fact. And so more of my video titles have been saying single mom of 9. I am. I only have 6 minor children. I only have 8 children living at home full time. 2 of those are young adults, and young adults still need safe support, just like everybody does. So there you go. Those are my thoughts on, am I allowed to use the phrase single mom of 9? I am, because that is who I am. And my journey is not any less valid than any other woman's journey to find hope and healing in the midst of hurting. And for all the women who are watching this channel who are hurting, I hope that this has encouraged you in facing bullies in your own life and in facing people coming at you saying you are not who you say you are. And what you have done really isn't as valid as what these other people have done. Just again, insert the lies and the narrative and the gaslighting and the bullying, whatever it is in your life. You can have your own back, and you can proudly hold on to any term or language that supports your journey and gives you credit for the hard work that you've done. Oh, and someone within that comment was saying how the term single mom is weak and wanting people to feel sorry for you, for me, for saying that I'm a single mom. I use that phrase because I'm doing the thing. And I know many other women who are watching me for hope and encouragement and mentorship are also doing the thing. And when you get into it, you think, 2023, 2025, you think there's all these resources out there. And a lot of it is smoke and mirrors. We have to take our encouragement and our support and our cheer and our pats on the back wherever we can find them. And there are many good resources online. Again, in the description of this and all videos, I will link trusted resources that provide hope and encouragement and resources for women who are hurting and are in hard situations. Thank you for coming to my talk as a single mama 9. I appreciate you watching, and I'm gonna now go film in my car some more videos for this channel. Subscribe if you haven't already. My goal is to get 1 video a week out here for most of 2025, which could very well look like I end up with 24 to 30 videos, which is so much better than 0, right? Thanks for chatting, and I'll see you soon with another new video. Bye-bye.